because of the partnership. I'll start with Dr. Hatem. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Abla and the ECAS for giving us such an opportunity for Al-Ahli Bank. Actually, the support was going to the social responsibilities, but because of the results of the studies, we totally believe in the product, and we totally support these kind of studies. The product is awesome. A huge effort. Anyone that is working in the field of the research, we know the difficulty of getting such data and such information. This very simple presentation, this consistency, a very great effort, and you're doing great. I would like to thank the audience. Thank you so much. I would like to consolidate lots of things that were tackled in the presentation. The drawback in the fresh graduate market lately, a long time ago, we were focusing on hiring fresh graduates. Now we have a tendency to approve the applicants after 2 years of graduation. In our own thinking, we feel that they are not ready to work after graduation as they used to be. Maybe the education circumstances during Corona, maybe the education circumstances during the revolution, I don't know, but actually their readiness to work is weaker than before, and this we need to focus on this and to work hardly with the universities. And here I'm not talking about the scientific readiness, I'm talking about their personality readiness to take decision, to take responsibility, to work hard, to exert effort. There is a kind of clear drawback. The other point, we wanted, when I was working in Orange, we wanted to do this, but actually we faced lots of obstacles to start focus on the work centers out of Cairo, the number of graduates, how many of the graduates are exposed, and the infrastructure of the state. But now the situation is totally different. Lately, we had an experience, a successful experience, and I'm still saying that it was a successful experience, and we need to scale up after we implemented. We established a call center for Al-Ahli Bank in Asyut, not serving only Asyut, but serving all the customers of Al-Ahli Bank, and the experience was very successful. We found fresh graduates that they are committed, very highly committed. Living outside Cairo is more comfortable than living in Cairo. So we found education, we found learning, exposed to social media and to technology. They are exposed exactly the same to those living in Cairo. The place doesn't mean anything. They are working in the call center, and they have the same tools. The ability of self-learning are available for them, exactly the same for those in Cairo and Alexandria. Social networks and the internet is there. So this is an experience that I am encouraging, and I wish that the companies will adopt such experience and to open new market outside Cairo. And it's normally that people living away from the capitals, they are more comfortable. They have higher productivity. The cost of living is cheaper. They are not demanding like those living in the capital. So this is an experience. I would like to enhance this kind of experience. This study deserves to look for freelance opportunities in other fields, in other sectors. We need flexibility in the job opportunities, especially the new generations. The startup, they like the startup projects. They like to work freelance. But up till now, the freelance jobs, they lack sustainability and stability. The consistency in income, what make him feel insured, like the health insurance, like the social insurance, all of these kind of aspects we need to review the articles in the labor law. We as institutions, if we looked at the big institutions, they don't have this kind of flexibility because they don't have the legal framework. And the freelance in Egypt, one of the disadvantages of the freelance in Egypt, that the freelance work is in the blue collars. They work for long working hours, so they don't have an opportunity to take care of their families and work at the same time. So the idea that he will have time to improve himself, to learn, will decrease in order to get the income that he wants. Doubtless, lately, because of the economic circumstances that the whole world is passing through, not only Egypt, we have a phenomenon which is the financing difficulties or financing exhausting. They are struggling, finance struggling. They are struggling in the main income to eat, to drink, to have a house, to send his children to the schools. So people will look for the high income jobs. He will need money to educate himself. He will not. He will face some turbulence in this aspect. I see also that we need to save the fresh graduates by any way, because if he did not work when he is young, he will never gain the experience. From where shall he gain the experience and he is not working? I don't want to be lengthy. There are lots of points that we benefit from it, but at the end I would like to thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Abla. Thank you. Thank you so much. What I understand that the courses that are offered by the Ministry of Communication are free of charge. And as they are free of charge, it means that there is an opportunity. And for sure, the labor law, we can amend the labor law. We can do something about this. The freelancer can pay insurance for themselves. So there is an opportunity to pay the insurance for himself. There are lots of opportunities that we can benefit from. Mrs. Nashwa, please, the floor is yours. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Abla and the Center on studying this sector, because up till now it is a black box. So the study and the analysis will open other sectors to understand and to study, and this will lead to have more opportunities. I listened to the presentation and I'm carefully and I'm trying to see what are the opportunities for Egypt. The ILO, as you mentioned, we already, since the year 2020, we launched an initiative on the international level with the cooperation with the university to do a labor observatory to know how this market is working. When we look at Egypt and what happened, what you did, there is an opportunity. Yes, we have lots of opportunities. The unemployment rate between female or the female wants to work in the freelance. We encourage the female, and this will make a difference in the unemployment rate among the female. If we took this sector in our consideration, for me, we have two main points that the presentation referred to, and we need to think about it, the idea of the skills. The skills that are requested by the labor market and the skills that they are the outcomes of the education system. The market is very unregulated. We don't know what are the skills requested if we talk about only this sector, and the skills that they are produced by the learning outcomes are different. So we have to put in consideration the long-term solutions and the short-term solutions. And this will come from the employer that will offer training programs to enhance the labor market. And also the earnings. I have the problem of this problem might be on the employer and on the freelancer himself. Either he will not get a fair salary or income, or the employer will not know the situation of the labor market to relate or to connect the skills with the income. By doing this, the market will be more regulated and we can open more opportunities for others. The point that was referred by Mrs. Hanan, the protection. We as the ILO, we are talking about decent jobs. I have lots of regulation and we issued our reports for the future of jobs. This was the most concerns that we tackled in the idea of insurance, the working hours, the security of the jobs. These are our big concerns. We call it non-standard employment form. So all these concerns, and we have to look for out-of-the-box solutions. As you said, Dr. Abla, it is not necessary to be mentioned in the labor law. We can have a special legislation, we can have a special legal framework to think about non-traditional solutions in order to provide the proper protection for the laborers, in order to assure the good relations. Here I don't have the employer himself is not there. And the employee, the kind of relation that we know, that I have an employer and I have an employee or a worker and a relation represented in contracts, this framework, I don't have it. So therefore, studying what are the solutions, the out-of-the-box solution that we can regulate the market. I don't want to say that we need more regulations. Do we need... Yes, sir, we are going to promote, but we need to regulate it in order not to face any problems in the future. Why don't we work to think about different solutions and examples from India and other countries? What are the kind of protection that they do provide in order to enhance this kind of relation? We should think about this in order to put it in our consideration as we are studying the improving and the development. We can also study the different means that we can work on it. I won't be lengthy. For me, the part that is related to the core fundamental rights, either protection or the fair income and the discrimination. Why I choose this and I'm not choosing that. So the fairness in the access to the freelance market is not that clear. What to be regulated, how we are going to work on it. The other sectors, and also this is very important. If we work with the idea of value chain analysis and the supporting functions for each sector, because this can create lots of freelance work that will serve the private sector. So it's not only formal employment, but if I can provide the sector with the kind of jobs that they can serve the other sectors, I can establish startups, I can have freelancers. So when I start studying other sectors, please put this in your consideration that we can work on it. Thank you so much. We can talk till the end of the day, but I won't be lengthy in order to listen to Dr. Ibrahim. Thank you so much. Before Dr. Ibrahim, I want to say how the entrepreneurs, when you ask them what are the kind of regulation that you need, the answer will be, leave me alone. I don't want anything. And this is a personal matter. My role as the government, as the state, to provide him with the information, at least. The idea of protection, yes, you are right. I think this is very important. And I think we can do it to see the system, how it works in India, the protection system, in order not to be deceived, to have the right price for the service that he is providing, this is very important. But this is regulated internationally. How? Demand and supply. Without referring to anything, and I want to say that it's very important, the private sector companies, they ask for freelance, the Egyptian freelance. But they ask abroad because they don't know that we have these skills available here. When it is known that these skills are available, he's going to shift. He's going to choose from Egypt. I think we don't want the state to interfere. We have the names of the. I said, don't put examples. Don't put examples, Ahmed. Don't mention names. We will face a problem here. Just leave them. The protection is very important. It's very important. Yes, sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Abla. I'm very happy being here. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you so much for the center for inviting me to this very important discussion that is tackling a very important issue. I'm very happy to comment after my dear colleagues. I'm going to tackle two important issues: digital employment and the freelance on the other side. This is what I would try to tackle. Digital employment actually is a new issue. It's increasing and it is scaling up. Dr. Abla said at the beginning that this kind of employment can prevent the mind migration. In the digital employment, there is two kinds of migration. There is physical migration, because there is a demand in the industrial world, especially in the industrial world, to those working in the field of information technology and ICT, programming. So they invite those skills to work abroad. So they migrate physically. But there is another kind of migration, digital virtual migration, meaning you are very skilled at digital technology. So you are here in Cairo, for example, and you work abroad. So you migrate without leaving your place. You migrate virtually. This we have a profit and a loss. The profit, that you are not unemployed and you have income. And this income you spend it in the national economy, so you enhance the national economy. On the other side, you are a loss on the local market. There is nothing which is totally positive or totally negative. So we have to tackle both sides. And by the way, we all know people that they live in Hurghada, and he works as a lawyer and he works abroad. He doesn't work in Egypt. The digital employment is not only for programming, it's a very vast sector. And it is not only related to technology, but it is related to using technology in other jobs with the people with high skills. So I think that we have to focus on it or shed the light on it. There are jobs that they are going to disappear and new jobs will appear. I think, Dr. Abla, if you allow me, in the analysis, the idea of blue collar and white collar at a specific period of time. There are jobs of the blue collar are done by white collar. Who are the blue collar? The workers or the job itself? The job has nothing to do with this. The job does not put on a shirt. The job needs skills, competences. The job required high education. The jobs with high skills are defined are for those who are highly educated and they are university graduate. And those with the lower skills, I think that this is better in analysis. Otherwise, we are going to say that the job is with blue collar. Job has no collars. Even in analyzing the labor market, we don't have any collars. When I look at the analysis of the labor market, there is no collars. I have high skills, medium skills, and low skills. So how come that sometimes I have jobs of the blue collar are done by white collar? So we have to reconsider this matter. The drawback in Egypt, the demand in Egypt, in all the sectors, as it was mentioned. Concerning the freelance, I totally agree with Mrs. Hanan and with Mrs. Nashwa as well. I cannot talk about the ILO. The demand is there in the advanced industrial world. So how can the employer deal with high supply that is coming from Egypt, India, Colombia, Argentina? Maybe there is a kind of a comparison with another country rather than India, because India is very advanced. You will see that there are indicators of discrimination. I'm not talking here about the income. We have to put this in consideration. We will see that this work, there is discrimination against women, for example. And we choose according to what happened in the past. What happened in the past? That we used to choose men because women are less represented in what we call the STEM, science, mathematics, geometry, and so on. So we will see that we have the reproduction of discrimination against women in the market. We have also to put in consideration these numbers. The number of Egyptians in programming, 1,790. This is a very humble number in the Egyptian labor market, but this is a very important issue. The number of jobs, 13,752. The average, the working hours, 492,000. The average working hour for every job, 35 hours. Then, what Mrs. Hanan said is very important. Stability. Because the income that is less than 35 hours will not make you able to survive. You might look at numbers, big numbers. I'm so sorry for my voice. Will not help you to survive. In order for the worker to have a kind of stability, he has to take his rights. The financial stability for the young man is very important. It will take time, like the journalist, for example. The journalist cannot be a free journalist at the beginning of his career. Yes, he can be, but actually, we are talking about the incomes here. The whole idea is about stability and to be his career path. Not to change the work, the freelance, to an unorganized work. In India, for example, 90% of the work is not organized. So do you need this work to be transferred to an unorganized work? Because it is not stable, the income is not stable. They are always unstable because he doesn't know if he's going to get work next week or not. For this reason, we say that those working in the freelance, they don't only need vocational training, but they need a kind of psychological support. He's always worried. Even if his income is high today, but he doesn't know what his income will be next week, next month. So he's always worried. And that this market will be an unorganized market. With the low-skilled applicants, if we need to increase this kind of jobs. So the idea is in the social protection. The social protection is very important, and it was experienced by Chile during the 80s, according to the recommendation of the World Bank. Because when you work 35 hours, there is in Egypt a law for the social protection, and look at the beneficiaries. No one. We can create the social protection systems because the labor market change. The freelance, when you are sick, it means that you're not working. You don't have work. You don't have leaves. You work at any time. at 12 o'clock, for example, at night, 12, you don't have sick leaves. There are administrative matters that need to be tackled, and it is not only Egypt. It's a new issue worldwide, how we can align between the flexibility needed, but it is not an absolute flexibility, meaning that at the end, we will have a kind of competition towards the bottom. And this is one of the issues that the center can put in consideration. The fresh graduates that they don't find jobs. Sure, this is an important matter. The percentage of employment in Egypt, not only in Egypt, in the Arab world, generally speaking, because the economic activities, the knowledge in the economic activities are very little. The awareness component is very limited. The average of education years for the Egyptian worker is less than 6 years. The analysis of the performance of the labor market is not new. What's really bad that this characteristics change by mean of time. As the Egyptian are not less skilled than the Indian. I think that the Egyptians are not better than others and are not worse than others. There are specific circumstances. The governorates people that they submitted for the scholarship in the AUC, that was excellent. They are applying from the different governorates of Egypt. I saw the number of the applicants. The centralization in the jobs in Cairo, it's because the different in development in Cairo, Alexandria, Giza, and the other Egyptian governorates. And we see people from Alexandria, they migrate to Cairo to work in Cairo. The competences decreased in the governorates. I don't want to be lengthy. Whatever is said about Egypt and training on IT and other skills required that is not related to knowledge in the field of information technology are available. And it is well known all over the world. And we have to know the labor markets, the work circumstances that are available in front of the applicants. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Ibrahim. We are going to open the floor for comments, but there are some points that I need to respond. First of all, we chose India because India is the best country all over the world in the field of technology. So when we are doing this comparison with the best country and we found that we are not that bad, so this is very important. This is the first point. The second point is the idea is very few percentage coming out of Sohag, because we don't have in Egypt looking for the talents. We have to focus in this. We have to find on innovative solutions. And I think that it deserves to look for it, because we are in a very critical situation. And I'm going to repeat the word. The idea is, what is the alternative? This market is not organized, and there is a kind of discrimination. But actually, he doesn't find any job opportunities. He cannot afford living. So we have to look about what to help and support these people. The state is doing nothing. The only thing that was done, the initiatives launched by the Ministry of Communication that should be completed by the effort under the supervision of the Ministry of Manpower. Yes, whatever you're saying is very good if he has a job, but he doesn't have a job. So I must find an alternative, as we are talking about different alternatives. And he will not get a stable income, but actually is better than nothing. It is a supportive measure. If he has an alternative, he's going to do it or not in the available time that he has. The last point is with the related to the white and blue collar. This is just a label, but at the end, I totally agree with you. It is a job, and the job has skills and competences, and this is not a contradiction when we say that the blue collar, they take the educated people, and this is what the thing that is not understandable. We can see that those they are graduated from the technical and vocational schools. They don't apply for the jobs, or they don't have the required skills. So we find a fresh graduate, the youth that is graduated from university, he will take the job.